When was the last time you created something just entirely for yourself? Not to post, not to sell, just something that you wanted to make and so you made it. When I was a kid, I created just all the time. I was always painting, drawing, coloring. I was doing origami just for fun. I would create these little miniatures out of, toilet paper rolls and cereal boxes. And none of it got likes, none of it got shared on social media, none of it made money. It gave me so much joy and fulfillment just in the act of doing it. I didn't need any sort of exterior validation. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about how we value our creativity, our art, our pastimes, our hobbies, in a world of social media with likes and shares and follows and monetization and earning income from our passions. I think there are other value systems that often get lost. Not everything has to be profitable to be valuable. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. My name's Haley. I am a visual artist and filmmaker and overall just abundantly creative person. So first and foremost, as a full-time creative, full-time filmmaker and artist, I completely understand that you have to make a living at something. Not even necessarily doing what you love, but you have to make a living. If we could all make a living doing what we love, that would be amazing. If I could just direct feature films and illustrate and make a huge profitable living off of that, I mean, that's the dream, right? And I totally understand that. There's a value system in the things that we create, and if you can profit off of things, amazing. More power to you. I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. In fact, it's a very, very good and beautiful thing. However, not everything has to be profitable to be valuable. I really like that. Sometimes, and maybe this isn't a problem for everybody else, but it kind of seems like in my world, in my sphere, in my family, it gets talked about a lot. Well, like, oh, don't do that if you're not making money. Oh, don't play video games if you can't make money off of it. I'll talk about illustration and, right now I'm illustrating my first children's book. I don't have expectations that it's going to go insane and I'm going to make a full-time living off of it. I have expectations that I'm going to make a little bit of money from it and it's going to go okay. But I'm still doing it because I'm passionate about it. It's something personal between me and my mom and something that I'm really excited about. But when I tell people that I've been spending a lot of time illustrating, one of the first things they ask is, are you making money at that? And I get it. I'm not offended by that question whatsoever. I would probably ask the same thing. But it just makes me think like, okay, so our highest value system is money. It is likes and shares and follows on Instagram. I think there is a lot of other types of value. I was watching Doctor Who the other day with my husband, and if you haven't watched Doctor Who, it is this wild fantasy sci-fi ride. It's a British show, and Doctor Who travels in time, and there's this really beautiful and emotional episode where he travels back in time to visit Van Gogh. And if you don't know the story of Van Gogh, it's very sad, horribly tragic. Doctor Who brings Van Gogh back to the present and takes him to an art museum in England, where Van Gogh's artwork is being displayed as one of the best artists to ever live. And it's so emotional. The scene is just beautifully done. It brought me to tears the first time I saw it. And it just made me think, like, as the legend has it, as the story goes, Van Gogh never sold a single painting in his lifetime. But now, hundreds of years later, every painting he ever painted is worth millions of dollars. A Van Gogh original is worth millions of dollars. How many thousands of people have Van Gogh artwork hanging in their house? Have it as their cell phone case, something that they use every day. Like, Van Gogh changed the world with his art. Everybody knows, probably everybody knows Van Gogh's work, at least his most famous things like Starry Night or his self-portraits or the sunflowers. It just made me really think because, okay, so if he went his entire lifetime without ever selling a painting, why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves when we can't sell our work or when we're not gaining a huge following on social media? That doesn't devalue the artwork necessarily. I find sometimes, especially in the creative community, we can get really down on ourselves when we're not making money at something right away, or we're not getting a bunch of views. As a filmmaker, it's like, oh, I only got 2,000 views on this short film I spent all this time on. But also, you have to gain the perspective that like 2,000 people is a lot of people. If you saw 2,000 people in a room, whoa, like that's a huge amount of people to see what you created. I've been really wrestling with this idea that money might not be the highest value system, and we just think that it is. What about joy and happiness and love and the memories that you share with loved ones? I've got some really beautiful friends, and the time that I spend with them is way more valuable to me than money. I saw a video recently of a millionaire who asked these people, if I could give you $1 million today, but it meant that you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? Well, no. No sane person would take $1 million today and then die tomorrow. That's a ridiculous thing. Life itself is far more valuable. Waking up tomorrow is more valuable than $1 million. And that's just something I feel like we have to remind ourselves, especially as artists who are trying to make a living and sell our art. And it can be hard. And a lot of us, have day jobs. We have to go to our day job and then do our passions in any little free time that we have. I get it. Like, I have to make a living doing things I don't necessarily want to do all the time, and then I'm making passion films and illustrating and doing art any just spare minute that I have, and I get it. And if you don't relate to this, then congratulations. Like, you're doing amazing. When I think back on being a kid, I didn't need a reason to create. I didn't need a reason. I was never sharing it with thousands of people on social media. I never had the expectation that I was going to sell it. I created because it gave me joy. It gave me purpose. It made me passionate and excited to wake up in the morning when I was working on a project that I was really excited about. I'd be building little miniature houses out of cardboard and painting them and things and again, nobody ever saw it. All of it got thrown away eventually, but it gave me fulfillment just in the act of creating. And I think that there's a lot of value in that we don't often think about. Obviously, make your ends meet, pay your bills, provide for your family, do the necessary things. If you're playing video games all day, every day, and you're not upholding your responsibilities, that's one thing. But the idea that you can't play an hour of video games if it gives you joy because you're not monetizing it is an outrageous claim to me. We deserve to do the things that make us happy. We deserve to do the things that give us pleasure and joy, as well as all the hard work things. And so I guess this is just a reminder, mostly to myself, that I thought I would share with you, that creating in itself has enough value. And then if you can make money, and then if you can gain a following and do all those things, wonderful. But to not make money and to not gain a following does not devalue the artwork that you create. That's all I wanted to say today. Keep making things, be an artist, express yourself, do the things that you want to do regardless of whether you make money at it, whether you gain a huge Instagram following. All of that stuff I think is rather silly. And I think when we die and we look back on our lives, we're not going to think of that. We're not going to be so proud of our following and our bank account numbers. We're going to be proud of all the beautiful moments we spent with loved ones and all of the moments that we were truly ourselves. And I don't know about you, but I am the most myself on a film set and when I'm making art. Period. I'm a creator. When I'm creating, that is when I'm at my happiest. And I think that when I die and look back at my life, those are the moments that I'm going to look so fondly at. So just a little reality check. I hope that this helps you right now in your chapter, whatever chapter of life you're going through. Keep making art. I love you. Thank you for being here. If you like this video and would like to see other videos like it, then please hit like, hit subscribe. That would really help me out and help out my channel. And I will see you in another video. Thank you so much.